Okay, the entire face has to be tiny bit lower. I mean, if you never could tell from the way I draw and stuff, I'm not good with human anatomy. Not at all. Also, it's mildly... Yeah, I need to knock out a couple of blocks from down there. What can we try more with it? I tried connecting the lower jaw to it, and that really didn't work. I was not happy with how it looks. Overall, even right now, it kind of looks more like a monkey skull rather than a human one, which, truth be told, kind of adds even more to the character instead of detracting from it. And overall, yes, I'm trying to consider what else can I do with it to make it basically look better. And also, hey yo pretty people, my name is Zloyxp and welcome back to Sadly Vanilla. Yeah, I'm quite proud of the previous episode. If you haven't watched it, do check it out. In this one, I already started construction on my ship once again, and look at that, we already have some crew member, Pigman, running back and forth. Yep, good for you, Pigman. I'm happy for you. I promised you guys a giant skull. I promised you a giant skull on the back side of the ship, and here it is. Not really looking scully at all from this point of view, right? Don't worry, we'll get it there eventually. My plan for now is to actually get all of the orange clay, or orange terracotta, to kind of circle back at it. So we will be continuing the forehead all the way up to this point and dropping it somewhere at this point into the deck of the ship, using the lower part, the part the closest to the actual deck, as our third deck, basically the third deck, the upper deck, on which all of the controls of the ship are placed usually. At the very least, that's the approximate plan that I've come up with. This here looks fine. I really like it, especially the way it looks from the... Ow, my ankles! Down here? Yeah, just check this out. Amazing, right? And also, I've been hoping that today we will be able to put basically the prettiest part of the ship in place, and if not, then at the very least prepare everything for the prettiest part of the ship to be placed. And that is, of course, sails. I friggin' love sails on ships. When I was little, I used to play around with my Legos, and I didn't actually have any actual, Lego sets for a pirate ship. But I always wanted one, and I kept making sails for my sailboats out of random stuff, such as plastic, rubber, that kind of material. Mostly paper though, because you can obviously draw on paper. And that might have been one of my first, oh my god, I'm so stuck in here. One of my first artistic endeavors, really. So yeah, the sails on a giant pirate ship always hold a sweet spot in my heart, and that is why I've been grinding like crazy. I've spent basically my entire previous night breeding up the shipsticles. Look at them. Look at all of that shippage going on. I know, right? There's I broke a dozen shears shearing them already. Yeah, they basically have been my full-on proper nightmare for the last night for the last night, which is where I had my latest game session, because those stupid things, they kept getting blown up by gusts. They kept eating all of the grass around. They kept overloading, mind you, my replay mod. Because this amount of entities is just too big for that stupid thing to actually handle. And yes, they are still tanking my frame rate. I can see it right now by the numbers that the recording program gives me. But nevertheless, with the help of this shippage, I have basically gathered a chest full of black wool. And I was hoping to gather some more materials out of the mesa that BJW resides in, just so I can make even more giant orange skulls, because that will be the insignia, that will be the Jolly Roger we have on our ship. And on our ship, on our sails, on our flags, on our banners, on our everything, basically. I actually already have a banner with like a proper giant, proper skeleton with a skull on it, orange one too, to kind of match the theme, and I do not regret wasting a skull on it. I'm so happy with it. It's basic, but I'm really liking it. Okay. Right now there are a couple of hiccups that prevent me from going on with this project, and those couple of hiccups are the fact that I barely have any orange sandstone, because instead of bringing that from the mesa, I brought a bunch of orange stained clay. And while orange stained clay is great for large-scale projects such as this giant skull, it is not as good for low-scale projects such as those miniature skulls and also the insignias on the banner. So I will have to make another trip to the mesa and probably another trip to the zombie pigment farm, just to remind those guys who's boss, and also and mostly so I can enchant some more efficiency tools to help me remove the ceiling of this cave. Because you see the giant plateau right on top of the ship? It prevents me from putting in masts. Is that a word? Is it? I mean the thing, the planks, the logs, the poles, the electricity poles that the sails are actually put onto. That's what it's preventing me from implementing, and I really want to implement this episode. You can already see I dug out quite a bit, and I'm planning to dig out even more. But before we do that, once again, trip to the mesa. Swap the white skulls for orange ones, so they go better with with the magma blocks and with the orange skull. And I'll see you guys right after that. Oh boy, this one was a bit of a harder task to approach, simply because, well, again, I'm winging it, right? This ship is being built absolutely with no proper plan. I only planned out several design elements for it, not the entire build. Mostly because I'm an idiot, and also because I just feel like that is more fun for me and for you. And just looking at it right now, from a very distant point of view, it kind of came together really already at this point. And I haven't even gone into any texturization. I haven't placed any slabs and stairs to the bottom of it like I planned. This thing is still missing any sort of a flight design, like no wings, no turbines, no gusts pulling the thing, which was the original plan. But it already looks pretty cool, despite it being kind of moderately oversized. But that, again, this is my main base, or at the very least that's the idea that I had when I started it, so it can be fairly big as far as I'm concerned. I will be only for it. Nothing stops us from using the skills I acquired while building this thing to create another smaller and like more whatchamacallit, more attackable, no, that's the wrong word, more movable version. Okay, fine, now I'll just give up on that sentence. You get what I mean though. I learned quite several things while working on this one about building ships in Minecraft, so I'm really looking forward to our fleet extending maybe in the nearest future. But now, just looking at it, I gotta tell you guys, those machts, which is, yeah, machta, Russian word for the stick that holds the sail, they're freaking terrible to plan out and figure out. You never know if they look right until you placed them already. You can't just, you know, make a marker and see how it looks from the outside. You actually have to put the entire thing, the entire like vertical plank. And that was a tiny bit exhausting to just put them in several places, remove them entirely, put them in a new place, go away, see how it looks, don't look good. It is really frustrating. But now I finally came up with I apologize, hiccups. Now I finally came up with a configuration that I really like, or there is that looks pretty alright from like this point of view. There are no gusts, so I'm not risking falling down. Okay, so I came up with a configuration that kind of looks okay from this point of view. And here goes an even bigger gamble, guys. Because if we screw up the sails... Oh boy, I don't even want to think about it. Sails for a ship, like, they will look incredibly boring unless I make them reliefed, unless I make them 3D. I cannot just put a sheet of like plain wool, put like a vertical smooth wall of wool and call it a day. No, it has to be puffy, as if the sails were full of wind, as if they were moving the ship, because if I don't do that, even though it is currently in harbor, so it shouldn't actually have sails out, but still, if I don't do it, the ship will just look boring. It will not look right. And at the same time, it is so easy to screw up. I'm already walking a very fine line here, because the sunk cost value, yeah, pun intended, not really, has already set in, and I'm too far into this to abandon it. Obviously, I wouldn't just abandon such a big and cool project, but at the same time, it's so easy to mess it up and make it look even doofier than it is right now. And right now it can look pretty doofy unless you are from like very far away, which I blame on the lack of any texturization. That, like, this build for a moment is too plain, which is why the sails have to look very pretty. So I'm almost tempted to just get somebody else to do them for me. That might be the thing I will ultimately go with, but probably not, because after all, this is my place, and also I really don't want anyone to... Oh my god, I'm still alive! My freaking legs! Okay, I really don't want anyone to really know where I live, at the very least not for now. And yeah, so I think we'll go for a compromise. It will take quite some time to do this right, to try it out over and over again and again, so I will postpone it until the weekend's episode. This episode will come out on Wednesday, and really, yeah, why not? We already accomplished quite a lot. We have built, basically I have ironed out the upper deck, and I have also put together this giant amazing skull. Check this out. I actually put a bit of I cut a tiny bit on the top, you know, like a proper barber, and I'm planning on adding like little horns to the band of black on the very top, which will make this entire thing look even more badass. I really want to do that. So yeah, we'll see what it gets us. For now, that's gonna be it for today's insanely time-lapsey episode. Thank you everybody once again for watching. This has been Zloyxp. This has been Decidedly Vanilla. It's been nice chatting to you guys while working on this absolutely cool build. Oh my god. See you on the weekend. To be continued. Bye bye.